Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nice Movie.
What's up? It's your boy Bobby here.
It's Poda.
And it's Evan. And today we got a special guest on the phone with us. It's Adam Ward. Say what's up to the people, man.
Hey guys, yeah, it's Adam William Ward. I'm happy to be here to talk about While I Got Wasted.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Let's get into it. What questions do you guys got about the movie?
So, yeah, I mean, well, we were kind of curious just at first to, like, how long you've been, like, directing movies and all that type of stuff.
How'd you get into it and whatnot?
So this is actually my first feature film While I Got Wasted. And just to plug real quick, everybody can watch it on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon. You can rent it on Amazon. It should be in the next couple weeks on iTunes, and Video on Demand, and all those others. But for right now, it's exclusively on Amazon. So.
Awesome. That's cool, man. Well, congrats on that.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you. Yeah, I started directing actually in 2011. I directed a TV pilot called Three Guys on a Couch, which is actually on Amazon Prime for free. And then I directed again a TV pilot 2013 called Parole Officers, and that's also on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's sick.
And then I directed two other short films that I did not write, because Three Guys on a Couch I wrote, and then Parole Officers I wrote with my brother. And then two people just wanted me to direct their short films, so I directed two short films, which was good for learning and practice and stuff. And I just thought it was time to do a feature. And so we actually wrote this script in like 2014.
Oh, okay.
And we wrote it. It took about a year to write it, and a lot of rewrites to figure it out. My friend and partner in the movie, Seth Himes, he actually wrote a different script, and he brought it to me. I was like, hey, what do you think? And I was like, I kind of like the first 20, 30 pages, and then it went off in a totally different direction than Wally. And I told him, I really thought it was going to be like kind of a reamp of Weekend at Bernie's, kind of meets Hangover, is what I wanted to see. And he was like, okay. And after he was a little heartbroken of me telling him that, he came back later and was like, well, let's write that movie. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So then he lived with me at the time. He was my roommate in L.A., so we didn't actually write it. And then he moved out later, and then he came back and he was like, hey, I wrote a first draft. And he's like a really fast writer, so he didn't really get around to it for 9 months or 8 months or something, and then he wrote it, just a rough draft in like, I think, a few days. And I read it, and basically the drive-through scene was the only scene that stayed the same from that point on forward, but that scene was really good on the page. So I was like, the whole movie needs to be this good. And so then we went into rewrites for like a year of just rewriting, and working out the details and just trying to move the story forward story-wise, but at the same time, like, you know, because the movie's about three regular guys that are going to have a night out on the town to cheer one of them up because he's heartbroken. And the heartbroken guy accidentally kills somebody. Mm-hmm. So then they have to get rid of the body all in one night, for the listeners who don't know what the hell it's about. So basically moving the story forward, but at the same time, you know, presenting problems why they can't get rid of the body. So, I mean, it was constantly a juggling act trying to figure that out, really, with the writing process. And then we eventually got it right. At least we believe we got it right, you know? So,
I mean, so, like, I'm curious, like, how hard was it to, like, get it, like, to compare it, like, because it just seemed like out of nowhere you were able to just get, like, a feature film, or how many tries did it take to, like, even get in that, like, ballpark to do something like that?
Yeah, it seems like you have a relationship with Amazon. Like a good one, right?
So you're talking about the end of the process? Well, the beginning still has a lot more parts to it. I mean, that's the thing, too. So we had a script, and then what do you do from there, right? So, I mean, I've luckily made a lot of stuff, so I know how to make stuff, but I've never made a feature. And it's crazy because, like, the TV pilot, so Parole Officers is 26 minutes. I made it in 4 days. Three Guys on a Couch is like 19, 20 minutes. I made it in 3 days. But While I Got Wasted took 22 days to shoot. We shot 38 locations in 22 days. Wow. So it was a big, huge undertaking. And that's the thing. You can go without sleep for 3-4 days, but when you start going off no sleep for a whole month, it's just a whole other beast, man.
Yeah.
People start falling asleep. People they lose their shit, you know? And that's why the feature is really kind of that thing where a lot of people, I guess 90 99% of people that make a feature that never make the second one.
Damn.
Wow.
I read that statistic. I was like blown away. I was like, that's crazy, but I get it.
Yeah.
But so we had the script, and we were like, so how are we going to do this? So originally we were trying to shop it around town. When I first started, so I moved to LA in like 2006, and I worked at DreamWorks for a while.
Where are you from? Where'd you come from?
I mean, originally I grew up in Philly.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved to Oregon, a small-ass town called Roseburg, Oregon. It's actually called Glide, which is even smaller outside of Roseburg. But, yeah. And then I went to college in Hawaii, and then I ended up in Los Angeles. Shit. And I always wanted to make movies and act.
So that's what you went to school for, I imagine, then, also in Hawaii?
I actually went to Hawaii for visual communication.
Oh, okay.
So, really not a film degree, but Hawaii has the biggest public television station in the country. I don't know if anybody knows that.
Damn.
It's called Alelo. And so you can literally get certified as a producer there and use all their editing bays for free, all their cameras for free, all their equipment for free, which at the time was a huge resource for me to just go make shit and kind of learn.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I was taking film classes in school. Oh, go ahead. What would you say?
I said that's also a hell of a place to do it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, at the time, I didn't, I was making short films and stuff. You're just learning, at the point. But at this point, I'm like, man, I wish I just would have shot a feature. Because that's the thing about a feature. There's so many people I know are so talented, they never take on the feature. They're too scared of it. But the truth is, you just got to go for it. People got to just go for it.
It seems odd though. Isn't that what everyone Isn't that what they want to do? It seems like, right? Like they'd want to eventually do like a feature film, or is that not really how it is?
It seems like every filmmaker I talk to who hasn't made a feature, they're all about the feature, but they always let money get in their way or something get in the way in their brain, and they don't end up doing the feature. They want to, but they don't.
Yeah.
But the truth is, in the end of the day, it's like maybe your first feature isn't, Goodfellas. You just have to accept the fact that the resources you have are the resources you have, and you got to just do it and prove yourself. Because if you don't do it and prove yourself, ain't nobody going to give you an opportunity for anything else.
Very true.
Because short films in this, because I live in Los Angeles, so in Hollywood, it's like if you haven't made a feature, like nobody really wants to talk about me.
Right, because it's the experience that comes along with making it.
Yeah, you don't know what it takes to make a feature at that point.
Exactly.
Like you might be the best guy in the world, you might have a lot of potential, but like you haven't done it, you don't know. So, I've found since Wally a lot of it's just a lot more of a legit conversation when I meet people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And things are more realistic in their brain because I've already done a feature.
Nice, yeah. So they're bringing on the ladder.
Want you to work on things.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then we had this amazing script. We went out to a few studios and nothing panned out. I won't get into one story, but one studio wanted to buy the script that kind of ended up making a movie similar, kind of stole the idea, but it's all good there. I won't even get into that story.
Are you sure?
I can imagine that happens often in that industry.
Well, I'll give you a clue. We were in talks with Sony plenty, who really wanted the script, and then and the executives were gonna, look at it, and they were so excited, and then next thing you know, I didn't hear anything. And then a week before shooting that movie, Rough Night came out. So you can draw the lines wherever you want to draw them.
Yeah.
But that's how it happened. So anyway, basically after a studio or a few people promising money and stuff like that, I was kind of like, listen, this isn't working. Like, we have to do it on our own. We just have to do it on our own. So we started selling units to the movie for a percentage of the movie. You would own a percentage of the movie for the rest of your life for $1 amount, basically.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
So it's kind of like a publicly traded movie, essentially, right?
Kind of. But I mean, I'm selling people I know, Dennis.
Okay. Oh.
Exactly. So, believe it or not, I don't know. I mean, please go watch, the people listening, please go watch the trailer for Wally Got Wasted. It's WALLY, Wally Got Wasted. But but we actually shot the movie for $70,000. I ended up shooting it for $70,000, which in Hollywood is a crazy feat.
And this is and it was all from just like friends and stuff like that, donate like putting in money like that.
No, the $70,000 was I sold $10,000 units basically to own a percentage of the movie. So I sold dentists, I sold anywhere I could sell. Okay. You know, I sold a unit to some guy I met at Sundance. I sold to the dentist. I sold to whoever. You know. Okay. And convincing people to give you money is never easy.
Right.
But we made it work. You know. And so yeah. So then I knew I could pull it off for $70,000. So basically, we shot the movie for $70,000. But you guys tell me. I mean, does it look like a studio movie? I was trying to make something that looked like a studio movie. You know.
I mean, relatively, I'd say. I mean, I think you could tell it was kind of more independent, in my opinion, but it was definitely like I would say not too far off.
It was good quality.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to look like. I mean, there's a lot of indie movies that look like indie movies. So I didn't want to be like. I didn't want to have excuses. You know, we have grocery stores in it. We have trains. We have clubs. We have drive-throughs.
Yeah, you had a lot of great spots, and I was surprised. You know, as the movie was going along, on your film locations and the background was very nice. It was very impressive.
It was a lot of convincing. I'll tell you, it was. We had permits some places, and other places we didn't.
I was going to ask. You had to like barge the spot and only had like a couple takes, something like that.
Time limits and such.
Well, then. The nice part is, I convinced the whole crew from Teen Wolf, the TV show, to come over on my feature. So I had a decent-sized crew. I mean, you got like 15 to 20, 30 people. You have a grip truck. You have Ari Alexa. You have all the things that you need to make a movie.
Oh, yeah, it's
you show up to location. Yeah, no, it's all legit shit. And then you show up to a location. You don't have any business being there. So, I mean, like, there was times, you know, where cops would come up, and my crew are a legit union crew, so they basically want nothing to do with cops or security guards. They're like,
right,
that's on Adam, and I'm acting. I don't know if you know, but I actually So everything falls on me. So basically, like, if a cop comes up, everyone's like, they don't do nothing. So I have to go talk to the cop and basically let it be okay that everyone's here. So sometimes I could go up to the cop and be like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Everything good? And he'd be like, yeah, I saw you guys had a lot of equipment. We're just watching you guys, making sure you're okay. I'm like, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Go back to the crew and be like, we're all good. And we'd shoot. You know what I mean?
So no bad experiences with that?
No. There's a lot of experiences. Hold on. Sometimes. You know what I mean? And then other times, you know, somebody show up and we'd be doing something we should, you know, and they'd be like, well, I need to see a permit. And I'd basically be like, hey, like, I don't have a permit. We're shooting a YouTube video, and I saved up all my money in my life. My whole life's on the line. I can't say a movie because they assume we have money.
Right, yeah,
so
that's smart. That's really
good. I saved up for this YouTube video, and the guy would be like, this is like a lot of equipment for a YouTube video. I'd be like, this is my big break, man. Like, this is my big break. The crazy part is I'm telling the truth. Everything except for the fact that it's a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Like, it is my big break. It is like this is my chance to prove myself. Mm-hmm. And if you shut me down, I really am completely screwed. So, like, I'm begging and pleading for them not to shut me down. And eventually, after 20, 30 minutes sometimes, I would convince people. I wouldn't give up. And shut down. Shut down at my own freaking apartment. So during the day, actually not during, it's transferring into night, right? And I'm getting laved, which means basically a microphone attached to my leg, up my pants, up to my chest. Mm-hmm. At the same time, getting makeup done, and they're all setting up down. It's actually the iconic scene of us walking out of the apartment for the first time. Do you know what scene I'm talking about, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's that scene, and they're shutting down the street. My crew is shutting down the street and directing traffic, which is totally not supposed to do.
Yeah, no, that's definitely.
I would never had them do it if I was out there, but I was inside. I didn't realize what they were doing. So I come out, the freaking street's lit up like a football field, you know. like, because when you shoot slow motion at night, basically the camera doesn't get as much light in it, so you need twice as much light to basically shoot. So the whole street's lit up like a football field. They're directing traffic. I'm like, holy shit! Like, what are you guys doing? We gotta go onto the radar. Like, you can't draw so much attention. So I kind of calmed things down a bit, but in that time, it didn't matter. This woman from one of my neighbors from I guess she's in charge of the neighborhood watch, got wind of it. So she came down and she was like, "Where's your permit?" or whatever. And like, we kind of tried to ignore her, but like, we only shot that one time, basically.
Oh, really?
Because she was so. And when we're walking up, actually, you can see Patrick, who plays Mitch in the movie. He looks left during the slow-mo. It's because he's looking at this woman screaming,
"No way!"
"Where's your permit?" Like, you can see it during the actual shot. He looks over at the fucking woman who's screaming. And I managed to get the one shot in. And then I went up to her and I was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Like, is somebody bothering you? Like, are we bothering you at all?" She's like, "I need to see your permit. You're not allowed to be here." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'll send somebody to get the permit." And she's like, "I need to see it right now." And I was like, "Well, someone's going to get it, you know, and like, when they come, I'll show you the permit, you know. In the meantime, I'm going to try to shoot another one." She's like, if you start shooting again, I'm going to call the cops right now." And I'm like, "All right, I guess that's a wrap for today." So we had a different location to go to that day, and I was like, "Okay, we got to shut it down, guys. Let's go." Me fully knowing that we have to come back to my apartment 3 days from that day and shoot a scene with guys in fake cop outfits with guns.
Oh,
you know
my
what I mean?
God.
Like, I cannot have her call the cops, or like my life is over. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to be able to come back here. So I'm like, "All right, nobody talk to her, leave her alone," because the crew wants to fucking kill her. You know what I mean? The actors want to kill her because she's ruining everything.
Right.
I'm like, "Guys, don't talk to her. Don't talk to her. It's fine." And then Seth, my business partner / writer producer, comes back. His parents was in town. He's like, "I'm going to go to dinner with them, and I'll be right back." He comes back and sees that we got shut down and literally has a meltdown. And like follows the lady home, yelling at her. I'm like,
"Oh no!"
but it's all good. So we come back 3 days later, and we're shooting the cop scene. We luckily get away with it. No actual cops come. You know, you guys seen the movie? We shoot somebody in the scene.
Yeah, and behind the apartment, correct, in a little alleyway. Yeah.
So luckily, not everybody. We're kind of between the two apartments, so not everybody can kind of see us. So we're
right,
good.
Exactly.
But then we go into the night. Now, the night scenes that day, we were shooting on the SUV when we're driving around town. So we have to put the camera on the hood of the SUV. We have to put lights on the hood pointing inward on the SUV, and we have to go. Now, nobody should ever do this. So don't think that I'm telling people to do this. You should not do this. Do not do this. And then we're going to drive around. I'm going to have my actor drive around, and all the lights and cameras are pointing in the SUV. So basically, I mean, if we get seen by a cop, we're getting pulled over.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking that. It's like, we probably get pulled over real fast.
We're completely done. It's not safe. I mean, like, it's just not. So, anyway, the neighborhood watch woman calls the cops again.
Oh, my God.
Or doesn't call them again. She never called them the first time. She calls the cops this time. The cops come. I see them drive past my place. They don't exactly know what we're doing. They know we're kind of shooting. But we're on private property at the moment. So he goes and he parks down I don't know, 50 yards from my apartment, 40 yards from my apartment, so he can see my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the good part is we set up all the rig in between the two buildings, okay? And I know he's down there just watching us. So I turn off all the lights on the camera. Luckily, there's no lights. There's no street lights right outside my apartment. So then we pull down. I load up all the actors in the SUV. My monitor in my lap. My sound guy's like in the freaking back of the SUV, like, you know, on the floor in the back of the SUV. And we pull out of the apartment and we drive away with just the headlights on, and he can't see what's on the hood. He can't see anything past the headlights.
Right.
So then we drive down the street. We pull in some side street. I jump out of the car. I'll turn on all the lights, turn on my camera, start shooting. And then we go and we shoot for 30, 40 minutes and then come back, turn off, and then a block away, I would turn off all the lights, turn off the camera. We drive in the dark, you know, back to the apartment, and he never noticed. He never came and talked to us, so we got away with that too.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, yeah, it was guerrilla filmmaking at its best. So, but my luck, I'm just a really lucky person. I tell people that all the time. Like, I've literally used all my lucky charms on the freaking movie. So, there was that, and then, oh man, we shot at one of the places at the train is it's a casino. So, we went to the parking lot of the casino. I'm on the other side of the train tracks, basically, on the other side of the fence, but we pull up the car to the train tracks in the background, and we're at a casino. So the security guards at the casino come up one night, and I'm literally shooting my close-up scene, and behind the camera is these two security guards coming up. So I'm literally like saying my lines, thinking about, hey, we're gonna get freaking shut down. Like, in 2 seconds, I better get this line out of my mouth. And they're like, we need to see your permit, guys. And then, they said, do you guys have a permit? And then one of my good friends that was helping us make the movie, like, yeah, we got a permit. And then they both the security guards laugh and go, because if you don't, we don't give a fuck. and then they left. They both left.
That's hilarious.
So it was like crazy, right? It was just one crazy moment after another, making the movie, which is crazy too. So my business partner Seth, he was going to put in $40,000 of the $70,000 that we were going to make the movie on. And $70,000, I was like, I can make it for $70,000. I know I can. I did all the numbers, and I'm like, I can pull it off. I know I can pull it off. $40,000 of that is him. Okay, my business partner. Now, what I didn't know is he had another business partner in a different venture, and the $40,000 was in an account, a joint account, and the person took all the money, his business partner, and basically stole $40,000.
Damn.
It was gone.
Oh my
God. He didn't find out. Okay, he didn't find out it was gone until the first day of shooting. So
what?
Basically, all the photos, all the videos of my partner Seth on set, he's having a nervous breakdown. Like he still hasn't told me he lost all the money.
After he already like guaranteed it to you.
Oh my
also,
God,
right?
that's so fucking bad.
Oh, we hired all these people, everything. So he thinks he's going to tell me that we're going to shut down, basically. So after the first day of shooting, which is 12, 14 hours, we come back home. He moved back in with me to shoot the movie, so he's my roommate in a 2-bedroom apartment. He comes in my room and he's like, he basically completely breaks down. He's like, dude, we got to shut down the movie. I lost all the money. I'm so sorry. I'm going to leave LA. I'm done. And I literally am like, listen, Seth, no one could shut us down, okay? I don't care what happened. No one could shut us down. I said, we're going to open some credit cards, and we're going to put the $40,000 on credit cards, and we're going to finish the movie. So
yeah, that's badass.
That was it, man. And that's what we freaking did. We had $30,000 in the bank to pay everybody, and then food, everything we possibly could, we put on credit cards.
That's insane. So,
that's
insane.
That's gnarly.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's what's up, though. That's fucking badass. Shit.
Yeah, man. It was, but that's the thing. Casting took months and months to find the right people, finding locations. Dude, these locations, I didn't pay for one location.
Damn.
I'm in Los Angeles, guys.
For real.
Nobody wants to let you shoot.
Yeah, I bet.
No,
that's why, like,
they want a chunk of that movie money.
And like, even the woman coming out, everyone knows you need a permit. It's like, you know, where we're from, it's like no one's expecting that, but like everyone's there is like in the game and they know what's up.
Oh, you leave LA, people want to help. You know, here nobody wants to do anything for free.
Yeah.
A grocery store. I go in a grocery store. I'm like, hey, can we shoot in here? Sure, no problem. It's $1,000 an hour to shoot in a grocery store here.
That's insane.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have 38 locations in the movie. If I start paying for locations, I have no more money left.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we managed to get a grocery store for free. We managed to get fast food restaurant for free.
So like, what would have been your plan if like you couldn't have gotten like the grocery store or one of those, like if you just something happened where you couldn't have gone, we just kept looking around for one that fit?
What was plan B?
Yeah.
So basically, all these things, I did about 4 months of pre-production. So every single day I'm working on finding locations, finding actors, finding all these things. So all that stuff is set up before you start shooting. Like you've done everything before you start shooting. I had a giant chalkboard with each location and each prospect of where I might maybe it worked, maybe it didn't work, actors for certain parts, like maybe this person, maybe that person. And basically, like the grocery stores came from Seth. He knew some friend from college. He went to NYU, and that friend never ended up making movies, but he was so excited that Seth was finally going to make a movie. So he knew somebody who owned a grocery store chain here in LA. And then somehow we got permission from them to shoot in the grocery store when the grocery store was open. So that whole scene, the grocery store is open. There's people walking around us. It's literally like like a theater
That's
play.
awesome.
That's badass. Yeah.
I mean, and we were shooting in the front by the registers in the beginning of the day, and literally we couldn't shoot it anymore because so many people were in line checking out of the grocery store, so we couldn't shoot that scene anymore. So, you know, we had homeless people walking up to the actors, literally like looking at them, doing the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, it was you know, behind the scenes it shows a little bit of that, of like one of my actors going live, joking. But that's how it was, you know, and that's the crazy part too. Is you know, I don't have enough money to even give people, like, I eventually, a few people, I ended up giving them like $100 just to try to keep somebody paid to be there instead of them being there, because a lot of stuff takes place at night, and sometimes we're shooting when locations are actually closed, you know.
Yeah.
But that's like my last resort, you know what I mean? Because any money, I really am just completely over budget altogether. So every time I can try to save money, I try my best. But like, even like the fast food guy who said we could shoot there, once I told him what, he said, well, you can shoot when we're closed. I said, okay. What time do you close? We close at 9 at night. I said, okay. He's thinking we're going to shoot there for like 30 minutes an hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, we're going to be there like 8 hours. We're going to be there until the sun comes up. You know what I mean? We're going to be there until the sun comes up. You're going to close at 9, and I'm going to be there literally until there's
Yeah, you got to use the night, right?
I can no longer shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can no longer shoot. So I'm like, yeah, we have to be here until 5 a.m. Is there any way, you know? He literally was like, nah, I don't think you guys can shoot here anymore. And I was like, it was the day before, and I was like, I'm sorry, but like I said, you're basically like shooting me in the face. Like, I got nobody else, man. I don't have anybody. Like, if you don't let me shoot there, I'm done, man. So I had to guilt people sometimes into doing what they promised they would do.
Shit, it worked.
Yeah.
But that's it, man. It's your first feature, man. You just you have to prove yourself. You got to get it done. So many people don't even get it done.
You got to show that you got to show what you can put in some work just to get that feature. So that's awesome.
There's just so many things that happen, man. I mean, one of my lead actors, his son overdosed the first week of shooting. His son wasn't on the movie, but his son died in overdose. So it's like things like that happen. You know, it's real life stuff happening.
Damn, that's insane.
It has nothing to do with the movie, but it affects the whole crew. It affects everything, because this guy finds out his son freaking died, you know?
Yeah.
And he finds out, when he tells me I'm on a conference, I'm in a meeting with everybody that's working on the movie around me. It's like 7 to 13 people. I don't remember exactly how many. He's trying to call me. His name's Ronald Quigley. He's in the movie. He's an actor in the movie. He's trying to call me because 2 days previously, he tells me, hey, it was my son's birthday. He didn't call me. I'm terrified. I'm really worried. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I'm sure he's just partying, man. Like, you know, don't worry about it, you know. I obviously have no idea what actually happened.
Yeah, of course.
But his son overdosed on his actual birthday, which is insane.
That's crazy.
Be
That's
depressing
terrible.
to anybody.
Yeah, no.
But he's trying to call me. He's trying to get a hold of me, and I didn't pick up the phone because I'm in the middle of a production meeting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going over what everyone has to do, what we need. So he ends up calling Coco, who's one of my associate producers, and is like, hey, is Adam there? I need to talk to him. Well, Coco, not knowing what he's about to say, puts it on speakerphone and puts it in the middle of the table. Hey, Ron needs to talk to you real quick. Ron proceeds to tell me that his son died and overdosed on speakerphone in front of 13 people.
That's like a movie scene.
I have no
right
idea
there.
what he's going to say. You know what I mean?
That's insane.
The whole room went silent. It was like, what the fuck just happened? So, of course, I immediately grabbed the phone, take it off speaker, and talked to him. And I ended up, so he had to bury his son. So basically, he was like, listen, I really want to do the movie. I need to do the movie. Like, without the movie, I'm sitting at home thinking about this. I have to do this. Can you move things around? He was first day of shooting. He's how many days on the movie was it? He was 11 days on the movie out of 22 days shooting.
Damn.
So he's scheduled like 5 days, 6 days the first couple weeks or so. I had to move the day before shooting. I have to change the whole schedule around because I can't leave this guy hanging. You know what I mean? I can't let him
Yeah, of course.
not be in the movie because his son died. So it's like a gigantic puzzle because every day you have multiple locations. You got to figure out what time. It's a daytime shoot. It's a nighttime shoot. So to move all his scenes to the end of shooting, I managed to move him back so he didn't shoot one scene for the first day of shooting. For the first 10 days of shooting.
That was nice you were able to do that.
He was not doing a scene. Which is crazy because how it worked out then was the very first scene of shooting is the very first scene we're all together in the apartment, which I really didn't want to shoot that day. I wanted to shoot that like day 10 so we had camaraderie at that time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, so you had the vibes.
But that's how it worked out, man. So it's just that's the crazy part about making a movie. Is just there's just so many things that'll come at you that you can't foresee. You just can't foresee it. But that's why you plan everything you possibly can, and hopefully plan contingencies. I had a lot of contingencies. Like I would plan one day that I knew might go over. I think our longest day we went over. We shot 14 hours, 15 hours, something. It was a very long day. I don't like to shoot more than 12 hours a day, but it went that long. You know, we were shooting at 3 in the morning, and I felt bad for my actors. But I knew that day might run really late, so the following day was only, it was only a 6-hour day. So you got to look at all this stuff and just really plan things out. And that's the tough one too. Is the more moving shots you have, the more elaborate stuff you have, the more time you need to pull it off. And the house party, I think, was the hardest part because there's just so many moving parts. You have 50 people running around. You got
to get the consistency if somebody moves a prop in the room and you got to put it back. Or...
Nah, I mean, not so much that. It's just, for one, it's really hard. You got to have bathrooms for people. You got to have food for people. You got to, you got to get people quiet when it's time to get them quiet, which is never easy. All that stuff takes time. You know what I mean? If you're doing, we shot 100 shots that day. And every time you got to quiet people down, and it takes 30, 40 seconds, but normally you don't have to quiet them down. That's just right there, 100 minutes you just lost out of the day. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and then hypothetically, that's the thing too. We had 50 people, but I wanted the party to look even bigger than that. So then all the extras, the 50 people, they have 3 outfits. So then they have to change. I got to go, hey, we're outfit 2 now. Everybody facing camera, face the opposite direction now. You're not allowed to face camera. Wearing the other outfit. So there's all these kinds of things you have to keep track of to try to make things look bigger than they really are. Kind of like the nightclub. The nightclub we shot in 2 days, one when it was open and one when it wasn't open. But hopefully you never notice in the movie, you never notice. That's the thing. If we're talking, the nightclub's not open. There's no people in there. But we put enough people in the background that you don't notice. You know what I mean? So the hardest part was they're in the middle of the dance floor at the end of the club scene. Well, that's all just people I've placed like in perfect positions to walk through camera. Every single person that was there was on camera.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh, wow.
Even the grips. I'm like, listen, I just need you to walk through. You know what I mean?
Yes, what's up?
You gotta walk through you gotta just walk through in the background. So, and I have to fill my frame up so it looks like a full nightclub. And I'm proud of myself in that way because literally that scene's cut together and you don't notice when the club's open and when it's closed.
Right.
So we did a good job there. And the club had 100, 200 people when it was open. So to pull that off, it's I'm just happy. I'm happy no one's noticed.
Yeah. No, it's awesome to hear it now. Definitely like a new appreciation for
sure.
all that stuff. Yeah.
There's emergencies every day. Like the cave scene. Do you guys remember the cave scene at the end?
Yes. Yes.
So the cave scene, the cave calls us up the day before we're supposed to go shoot up there, and they say, you guys can't come up here. Now, when I went to the cave, I went to the cave like a month and a half, 2 months earlier. It's a movie ranch that's north of Los Angeles. They were building the cave, okay? What they did is they dug a big hole in the ground, and then they built just a roof over it, basically. So the sides of the cave are basically real dirt, but the roof of the cave they're going to make look like a real cave. So they're building the cave when we show up at the movie ranch, and I'm like, oh my God, we'd be the first movie to ever shoot in this big, huge cave. That's freaking awesome, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. So cool. They're literally halfway done when we're there. I'm like, well, when will the cave be done? He's like, literally next week it'll be done. I'm like, oh, we come back in a month, 2 months. We'll be good. Perfect. They call us the day before we're supposed to go up there and shoot. And he goes, you can't come up here. I go, why not? They go, well, because we're not around. We're not going to be here. I'm like, we have a signed contract. Like, I have to come up there. Like, you can't. No, we're coming up there. I have a whole crew of people. We're coming. And then they go, okay, well, I'm sorry, but we didn't finish the cave. I'm like, you didn't finish the cave? What do you mean you didn't finish the cave? Yeah, it's only half done. I'm like, oh my God. So that's the thing. I'm sleeping on average about 2 hours, maybe 3 if I'm lucky a day.
Damn.
And eventually it starts showing up on camera. Like the makeup artist is really like, I can't make you look like you looked on day one. Like, you look like you're dying because you're dying.
You did.
Like, you need to drink more water and you need to sleep. You know what I mean? You look twice as old as you did on day one. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't have time to drive 2 hours north of Los Angeles and look at some half-built cave. So I pushed on Seth. I'm like, you got to go up there and take photos of the cave and tell me how much it's done and how much it's not done, because we have no idea where we're getting stored for tomorrow. So he sacrifices any sleep he's going to get, and he drives up there, takes photos of the cave, comes back, and basically the cave's half done. So when I went up there, basically the cave scene, I had to shoot the whole thing facing one direction. So when you watch the scene, when you look at the dirty cops, you're facing the same wall that you're facing when you look at us. You just don't realize it because I haven't cheated.
That's badass.
Those camera tricks.
And nobody's ever brought it up. It's kind of amazing. No one's ever noticed it.
That's
but
so
literally,
funny.
I can only face one direction in the cave. And I told my DP, like, point lights different at the wall, so, because it's not a flat wall, hopefully it has different shadows and nobody notices.
Oh,
you know?
damn.
Because
like the light
angle,
source or something?
Yeah, that's sick.
So that's how we worked it out. But it was the tough part too is I have to have in my head every shot and how it lines up, because now it's not, you can't just shoot it like normal life, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to shoot everything out of sequence. So it drove my DP crazy, but I'm like, just do what I say and trust me, I got it in my head, we'll be okay. So I mean, there was slight drama there because he was like, this is chaos, but I'm like, just trust me, I got it. So, you know, so there was that. There was all kinds of stuff, man. Just so many stuff. The grip truck got a flat tire one day.
Damn. But that stuff that makes it sound so much more badass. Like in retrospect now, like it just like
you went through all that
Yeah.
and still
It's
were
an awesome
able
story.
to
It's
create
a-
the movie. Like,
Yeah, it's a sick story now, but it
Yeah.
sucked. Yeah, it definitely
At the time.
sucked at the time, but yeah, now it's like fucking an awesome story.
Oh yeah. I mean, when we were completely done, I felt mentally beat. I gotta say, I did feel mentally beaten. And I hear a lot of interviews with directors, and they say, you know, that they never. You know, I hear other directors, big directors, say, after I've done a movie, I never want to do it again.
damn.
I see why they say that. I mean, when I got done, I really was like, I don't know if I can do this again. Like my body, my mind was put through so much, like, hard times in a way that I was like, I don't know.
I'm wondering though, do you
You
think
know?
like if it was like if you had the permits and everything, like with a huge budget, do you think that would make it easier, or is it still like other things that weren't related to that
I
really
think
makes it?
I think number one, it would be a good team around you. Number one, because a lot of my stress was added upon because the people around me want to help me and they care about me, but they don't fully know what they're doing. You know, some people. not all the people. There's a very talented people on my crew, and I'm so thankful for my crew and a lot of the actors involved and a lot of people involved that supported me. I'm so thankful for them. But there's a few positions that don't really fully know what they're doing. And unfortunately, it all falls back on me because I'm the director and the producer. So it's like, if something doesn't get done, you know, that's the crazy part. So if Wally, you know, one of the scenes we're walking with Wally, if Wally's sunglasses, we can't find them, we can't shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One day we couldn't find the sunglasses. Well, we can't shoot until we find the sunglasses.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like all these little details that people don't really think about. But if everything's not lined up, you can't move forward. You can't shoot anything with him in it without the sunglasses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like stuff like that. That's what adds stress on you. It's all these little things, and if everybody around you is not easygoing, I've always had a policy of like negativity on a set breeds negative energy. So if you can, get rid of the person who's complaining.
Have you had to do that before?
Sucks. On parole officers, I had a woman who was doing set design that basically she didn't know what she was doing, and she didn't tell me. She didn't know what she was doing. She said, "Oh, I know what I'm doing." Da, 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 da. So she was. How set design works, right? If you're a set design person, you look at the frame with the cameraman and the director of photography. You figure out what the frame is. When I say frame, I mean what's in the camera, what is being seen. And then you go and you set design it. You make sure it looks correct, whatever's in the frame. So if I'm shooting a doorway in a closet, I might go to the closet and make sure more clothes are in there, or make sure they're positioned in the right way, and maybe throw some junk in the bottom of the closet so it looks like a used closet, right?
I'm wondering, do you tell them that, or is that up to her interpretation? Like, since she's the set designer, or how much detail do you give in that aspect?
Basically, my job as a film director is to be looking over everybody else's job and make sure they're on point. Now, it's her job to do it.
Okay.
But if it's wrong, it's my job to point it out.
Okay.
And it's my job sometimes.
But she does, so like they do have free range, like a set designer has free range and to do it, and then if anything you don't like, then you kind of go in.
Until your intervention.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, and a lot of them are always asking me questions. Like, I'm on set, I don't have time to breathe. Like, it's literally like, okay, I got 60 seconds. What do you need?
Yeah.
You know? Oh, I was thinking the costume person, I was thinking, that she would wear this, and then she'd wear this, and, do you think these are good? And I'd be like, I like this one out of those. Just go with that, Then somebody else walks up and be like, I was thinking this would be really cool, like a surfboard in the background for the set design, and this would be cool. Yeah, I think that's great. Good job. Yeah, totally. I'm over here, and the actor's like, I'm thinking about delivering the line like this. What do you think about that? And I'm like, that's, change it like this, or I'm like, it's great, So, like, literally, and then Seth's coming up going, the food's not here yet, and like, well, the crews might getting angry. I told them they were supposed to eat at 6, and it's, it's going to come at 6:30 now. Do you want me to tell them? Do you want to tell them?
Damn.
I mean, that's literally every day is like somebody coming at you doing all that stuff. Not to mention I'm acting. So
I was going to ask that too. Like, that must be difficult as well. It's like insane. And how do you give yourself direction and stuff like that? Like
how do you break out of the mode of like, all right, everyone's coming at you left and right, boom, boom. Every 10 seconds, someone's asking you a question. It's like, all right, and action, and then you're in your character. It's like, how do you?
That's the tough part.
How do you not look like you're stressing the fuck out from everything going wrong behind the scenes?
I think that's it's definitely one of the tough parts about it. I think I always I'm usually last in the scene to do my shots because of time, because I can give somebody else more time, and I can just do it in one if I have to. So if I'm only going to give myself one take, then I just give myself one take, and for time wise, I can save a lot of time just by doing it in one take.
How often is it one take? Like, or how often does that happen?
It would happen a lot.
It would happen a lot.
Because here's the deal too. I'll do one take, and if I don't like how I deliver a line, like you're shooting video. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't like how I deliver a line, I'm just gonna pause for a second, and I'm gonna do the line again. Yeah. Because in editing, I can cut that out. So I know enough. I'm filmmaking that I don't have to go all the way through. Certain actors think they need to start the scene from start to finish. I don't have to do that at all. I I can literally, sometimes when I would do my one take, I would just, for safety, do every line 3 times.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's one take, but it's literally okay. But you're giving it 3. Yeah, one cut. Of,
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I just do it in one. But sometimes I would go, you know what? Just to be safe, I'm gonna say, yeah, go get me those socks.
Yeah.
Hey, go get me the socks. Hey, can you get me the socks? You know, like do it 3 times and move on to the next line. Like sometimes I would do stuff like that just to save time.
Yeah.
So these little tricks you learn as you go along to try to save time and stuff.
So I'm curious,
I
like,
call it
I'm sorry,
rapid fire. I don't know
yeah.
what director it's called.
But now I'm curious, and since you're the director and you're also doing those, like, who tells you if it's not good or not? Like, who's checking you?
Nobody.
Is that good?
No,
Is that a good
no.
or bad thing?
It's good and it's bad. If you have a bad director, I mean, bad direction is no good. If you have somebody you really trusted, it is good. Now, if
No, but I mean, like, about you, like, when it comes to you and your performance, like, you know what I mean?
I do.
Oh.
I rewatch myself. So
Okay.
I usually, if depending on how I feel about the take,
Mhm.
I usually will watch it. I'll be, hey, give me playback, and I watch it because I can't watch it when I'm in it. So then I'll watch it on the monitor, make sure all the acting's solid, and as long as the acting's solid, I usually just leave it alone. I'm not a vain person. Oh, I don't like how this looks or that look. The frame looks good if the acting's good. If people hit their marks or whatever, that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for.
So has anyone ever came up to you and been like, yo, man, that wasn't the one, or anything like that? Has that ever happened?
No, it hasn't happened. But that's the thing. I started out as an actor, so I was acting. I acted in 2009. I acted in 11 short films. I was a lead in 3 indie features in 2010. And 2 of them never even saw the light of day. Like only one of them ended up coming out. And that's when I really was like, I got to change it up. I got to do something else to make this whole boat move forward. You know, so that's when I started directing in 2011. And so, you know, my acting performance is this. It's probably not even close to the acting performance I could give if I would just focus on acting. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I look forward to the rest of my career and trying different things, and hopefully I get to act for a lot of good directors out there, and I can really focus in. Because when I'm really focused on acting, you can juggle so much more hats. You can do accents, you can do lips, you can do all kinds of other things. Like this role was specifically designed for me to be easy in a way. Not that it's me, the character isn't me. But it's not a stretch. You know what I mean? It's not like me in Vice, like Christian Bale just played. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing a voice. I'm not doing a
Because your concentration is elsewhere on a lot of other things, so that makes complete sense to do.
Yeah. So it's just not such of a stretch acting wise.
Exactly.
I just have to make
you
sure
don't have to
you
focus
believe
too much on it.
the words I'm saying. Yeah. It's not a character piece as much. You know. So yeah, and then, but that's the thing. The actors I'm acting with, if hypothetically I was horrible, I know they'd probably be like, "Hey, you might want to do that again." You know what I mean? So I mean, nobody really tells me much, but sometimes they do tell me sometimes some stuff. But nobody has any fear. Like, there's no ego.
That's what I'm wondering, like how that must be. Yeah, like
There's no ego. Like, it's not about ego. It's everyone's trying to make the best thing possible.
That's
so
true.
Anybody's welcome to share their thoughts. But it's, you know, if you're obviously the PA who just got there, you probably shouldn't be telling the actor, like, hey, like, other than me, no one's really supposed to talk to the actors about their acting. You know what I mean? But when it comes to me, other actors can talk to me.
Cool.
You know, especially the people in the scene with me. I always usually ask, you know, how did it feel to you? You know, did you like your
they
acting?
have to feed off of your energy as well to put out you know, a performance of their own.
It's actually a lot easier for me to direct people when I'm acting opposite of them because I'm usually behind the camera acting with them. So I'm standing right next to the camera, delivering my lines, and then if I want them to be bigger, sometimes I don't have to tell them. I just act bigger.
And they'll feel it, and they'll feed off that.
Because they're feeding off of the energy that I'm giving them. So it's kind of a different thing with all that. It's kind of like if you were, you know, a basketball coach and you actually go play in the game and give people more assists. You wanted them to shoot more. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of of different in that way. But hopefully, I mean, I have an open, honest set so everyone can be open with ideas and share their thoughts and this kind of stuff. You know
That's awesome.
I try to never shut anybody down when they come with me with an idea. If I know I'm not going to do it or I'm not interested in it, I'll literally tell them, "Oh, we'll definitely do that if we have time."
Yeah. Okay.
If I don't, and then later, I'm sorry, we don't have time. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't agree with it at all, because I don't want to say that's a horrible idea, or I don't want to say like, no, I don't like that idea, because then it might not come with any ideas in the future.
Right. Oh, that
And
makes sense.
I don't want that kind of atmosphere. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of different that way.
That's-
But my script supervisor, God, he helped me so much on this whole thing. Because like half the time, I'm so distracted. I'm like, what the hell is my line? You know?
Yeah.
And he'll tell me what my line is. He's off camera, literally gone. I'll be like, read my line, and then I'll read it, and then I get to deliver it, you know. Because I'm just so distracted. So half the time, I'm literally like acting like Eric Roberts in a movie where I need my cue cards, but I made it work. So that's all that matters.
Nice. But so I had a question though about like casting and things like that, and like just like how that process was. Like, was it all just did you know any of them, or is it people working for free, or like how did you find those people?
So basically, I really spent a lot of time working on finding the right cast. It was written. So Seth, my writing partner, he's kind of Mitch in real life.
Okay.
So he's kind of like a short, neurotic guy who's maybe not Mitch, but he's a version of that. And then we used to have another roommate named Steven Schaffel, who was Jerry, basically.
Okay.
So, and he's not really like all these people are kind of a little heightened version.
I
of
imagine
people.
so. Yeah.
But yeah, so then I had to find people to actually act as them, which is a totally different talent. Aaron Groban, the guy who played Jerry, actually has never smoked pot in his life.
I can tell.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait,
You
that's,
definitely tell.
Wait, that's the stoner guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question. Like, when like him acting like that, was that like free range from him, or did you tell him, or how did the way he acted come about?
Like, was it purposeful for him to be so stereotypical?
And like exaggerate, yeah, like.
I mean, it's written. I mean, the words on the page are written a certain way. So I mean, like he did not improv a single word of the script.
So is that how you imagined? Like you told him kind of to act like to be like that?
I liked what he did. Now, some people love it, some people hate it. Jerry's pretty over the top. So when I go out through a screening, he gets the most laughs in a movie theater. But then there is certain people in that theater that hate his performance. So,
yeah, do you smoke?
It just depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. That's true.
Some people literally get done the movie and like, dude, Jerry is hysterical. I love it. So it's just, that's the thing about art, though. Like,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
all
To each their own,
Some
too.
people love it, some people don't.
There was one line specifically that actually had me laughing my ass off.
Which one was it?
It was when you guys pulled Wally out of the car, and then the cops had came up, and they were asking, "Hey, is he all right?" And Jerry just goes, "Yeah, I'm right." Something like that. I started laughing my ass off.
I do remember
hilarious.
that. Yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
That part was funny as fuck.
That was actually, just funny part is, that was done in editing. I did that in editing.
Oh, really?
Oh no! So you like pieced it?
That was great, because that
That's
part had
sick.
me laughing my ass off. That was
Damn. That was a good thing. What made you think of that? It's just like you saw it and then it kind of fell together or something?
Editing, I live with the thing, man. I live with it for 6 months to 8 months with that.
So are
And I
you the
was
only
editing
one
every single
editing at all? Are you the
day. No, I
okay,
hire
okay.
an editor.
But you're just there.
Technically, I'm not there. No, I did a lot of sticks on. Like I'll cut it together, but then smoothing it out with sound and all that kind of stuff, I'm not good at. So, I hired an editor, and then unfortunately, he was editing some kind of diamond commercial thing, so he was getting a lot of money for that. So I was kind of on the back burner, even though it's a feature. But he had 2 editing bays in his garage, so I'm literally on the other side of the room editing Wally while he's editing like this diamond commercial or whatever.
Damn.
And then I would then cut it all together, because that's the thing. So we had 24 hours of footage by the time we were shooting the movie done.
Shit.
Oh my god.
24 hours. So I had to go through every single line of the movie and pick which line, which angle I want to use for the actual movie.
That's
so
insane.
It takes a lot of time, you know. I mean, it's a full day just to freaking watch it all. So every single scene I'm going through, I know in my head on how to put it, how I want it put together. And sometimes I shoot it in a way that you can't put it together any other way but the way that I shot it. Because I know how I want to put it together.
So is it like you have it like, I mean, I guess not necessarily storyboarded, but is it like everything is, you already have this completely set up, like beforehand, right?
I have a shot list, which I write down. I have it in my head. What I want. It's how well can you convey that and talk to people around you, like the DP and the crew, and explain what you need and what you want.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
You know, and a lot of times, so we would run a rehearsal basically in the beginning, and basically, so the DP and everyone can see where everybody is. I can then tell them where I want the camera, here, here, and here. I want this frame, you know, here. I'm thinking this lens, which, you know, it takes time to learn your lenses. But I want this lens here, you know, and so you go over all that stuff. I went to every single location with the DP in one day. It took like 14 hours, and I went over every single shot in the whole movie.
Damn.
And that was with no actors, no nothing. Then on the day, then we go, everybody comes, we run the scene to show everybody on the crew what we're doing, and then I go over all the shots again with the DP, and then we figure, I tell him what order I have it shot, and then he puts his input on what he thinks maybe we want, how he's going to light it. So then maybe we change the shooting arrangement of which shots are first. You know, sometimes he wants to shoot a wide shot first and light it that way. Sometimes he wants to do close-ups first because of the lighting. So it just kind of depends. Generally, he wants to light the wide shot first and then bring in lights for each close-up. Because you end up changing lights from a wide shot to a close-up. You change the lights all the time. So it's not like you light a scene and then you just shoot the whole thing like a play. It doesn't work like that. Not if you want the right look. So every time you're shooting a shot, you're moving lights and making sure somebody has an eye light or a hair light or that it looks good. You know what I mean? So, and the more time you have, that's one of the reasons why big budget movies look so freaking good. They shoot 3 pages in a day, a page and a half in a day. You know, so basically everything looks immaculate, and the acting's immaculate because they can shoot it as many times as they have to get it all immaculate. And if it's not immaculate, then they're just, oh, let's keep shooting. Let's take a break for lunch, and we'll come back and shoot it again. Or let's rewrite the scene because we have so much time. We can do whatever we want. You know, I watched the behind the scenes. I didn't watch the behind the scenes actually. I saw a screening of Sicario. Did you guys see Sicario?
No.
So I saw it with Emily Blunt and Del Toro and all the people who made the movie. And basically, the last scene of the movie they shot. They said they came in, they shot it. It didn't feel right at all. It felt no good. So they shut down the whole set. This is how much money they have. They shut down the whole set. They send the crew out of there. Everyone's getting paid by the hour. Guys, go hang out by the tents or whatever. Do whatever you're going to do. They spent 3 hours in the room rewriting the scene and improving it out until they got the scene they want. But that's 3 hours that you're paying people for you guys to do all this, you know, to figure it out. But that's the big money movies, you know what I mean? I have to have everything figured out before we get there because every minute we're there is costing money.
Right.
Money that we really don't have. We're putting on credit cards, as you know now.
Right.
So, you know, it's really pre-planning and executing the best possible thing you can do. But anyway, your original question was, casting. I did video auditions for everybody. So I don't know these people. Aaron, I didn't know Aaron. I never met the guy who played Jerry. I never met him. Okay. Now I told everybody I wanted somebody like Sean Penn in
I know what you're
that high school movie.
I
wanted
Fast
somebody
Times,
like
Rich
that.
Lion.
Fast Times.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted somebody like that. I said that was my example, and then I said Jack Black in Orange County. And I was like, dude, I was literally like, if Jack Black could be in my movie and play that part, it would be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
but
of course.
It's not an option. Yeah. So those are my examples of what I wanted somebody to do, though. So, you know, it's so hard. It's so amazing because you can criticize Aaron the best as much as you want, or you love his performance. I really don't know what you guys think, but so many people auditioned for that role. I auditioned 50 people, and every single person who act high or act like they, you know, weren't all there.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like they were acting like they weren't high. You know, it seemed like they weren't high or they weren't as smart. So he's the only person that I was like, moments in the audition, I was like, yeah, I'm buying it. I'm believing it. There's a moment I believe. So like, he was the only one that came as close as I needed in Macomb.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of his performance. I think he did a really great job. So he was. I think he did great. I think all the actors did great.
Yeah,
Patrick,
that's I mean,
Mitch,
yeah.
I think.
No, that was good. I mean,
I
I was one of those that I personally wasn't the biggest fan, but I mean, it was still good. But I had a question about the one line, and I was wondering how it came about. At one point, someone goes, "All right, come out and sarge some babes with us." I'm wondering, is that like a normal phrase that you and like your boys say, or what? Because I've never heard that one before.
I've never heard it either. Seth wrote it.
Bullshit.
My writing partner wrote it, and it never got freaking changed. And so
No way. So like, what made him
Go
fucking
sarge some
write that?
babes.
I was like, what?
Even trying to deliver that, I would laugh my ass off.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Seth wrote it, and so I delivered it as an actor.
That's hilarious.
And so the writing process was Seth. I came up with the whole outline of the film. I came up with each scene of what needed to happen, and then I would let Seth write it. You know, and if I didn't like it, I would sometimes rewrite it, or I'd have him rewrite it. Be like, "This is a good. You know, this needs to happen," and this is with the characters, and it didn't happen. And so that's how the writing process happened for a year. And occasionally, like on the side of the cliff, when we leave the train. I don't know if you remember, Mitch is low in the movie.
Yes.
That was one of the scenes that for some reason Seth couldn't get the right tone with it. He couldn't really get it. So I wrote that scene. I wrote like in the Nicolas Cage line and all that stuff. Like that was mine. The majority of the script is mostly Seth's words and his dialogue. So, which is, you know, we had a great time writing it. You know, Seth loves writing it. He's a great writer. And it was a fun process writing it. So I mean, it was really no drama at all. He didn't have an ego coming to the table. And that's really what you need with any art, in my opinion, is especially team art. You can't have any ego. You just have to be what's good and what's not, and say your opinion and just go for it. So, but I did video auditions, and I basically asked, like, I know the producers on Orange and New Black. I know, because I've been here now 13 years. At the time, I only had been here 11 years because I shot it 2 years ago. But I just asked all the people I knew if they had anybody that would fit these roles, because I had a little breakdown. And then they suggested 10, 20 people each. Some people, you know, suggested 3. And then I would do video auditions for everybody. And it was hard to find everybody, really. I mean, Lissa, the leading lady girl, it was not easy to find somebody who was bubbly, kind of like Cameron Diaz. Every woman I had audition somehow played it, but they had like a bitchiness to them, you know. And I couldn't cast them. It was like, no, I need somebody who the audience falls in love with, because you're smiley, you're happy, and you're just nothing's ever serious to you, you know. And she actually was a suggestion from the producers of Orange and New Black. She did some indie movie, and they were friends. But the problem is she lived in Nashville. So
you got to pay for those flights.
I talked to her a little bit.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
So you got to pay for that flight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
damn.
I called her immediately. I'm like, yeah, she's probably not going to work. So I called her up. I'm like, hey, they suggested you. You know, let's just have you do a tape. And she's like, well, I got to admit, if I do it, you're going to fly me out. I'm like, okay, well, let's just see how you do on the tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Let's not get ahead of ourselves yet.
So I'm thinking to myself, she'll just bomb it. And
yeah, high hopes, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I ain't paying no flight.
I'll cast one of these LA girls. She's like the only girl that read from a different state. And so she sends in the tape, and of course, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, of course, that's the one.
Of course, that's the only one that's good.
Yeah.
Fucking listeners.
So, but I mean, in the end of the day, I'm happy we found our Lucy. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
so,
I feel like casting must be like the most difficult. Like how do you know when you got them? You know what I mean? Like I feel like you'd always wonder like, what if the next person or something like, you know what I mean, would have done better? Like, how do you know when you feel like you have the person?
I mean, I have in my head what I think the person needs to be like. You know, I mean, like you got to realize I'm so in depth with the script at that point that I have very much in my head who each person is. You know. And
you found everybody to hit that, or did you like at one maybe like you had to like kind of just
everybody brings their own. I know what the character needs essence wise. You know what I mean? I know what the character needs with their kind of the gist of it. Now, they bring their own thing to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then
it's
like, oh, that could work. And sometimes it's a totally left field thing where like, oh, I never thought of it like that. But it could kind of work. I can see that working, you know what I mean? So it's not always exactly what you thought. It's the same thing when you're shooting. It's not, it never comes out the way you imagined it. But you have all these collective artists working on things. And sometimes they're doing things that you never even thought of, and you go, oh wow, that works, or that's
that's like the big cool part about it, right?
They do a pause here, you know, they do a pause in one place, and all of a sudden it's funny now, and it never was funny before, or you know, or something that you thought was extremely funny on the page is now not funny anymore. So it's just unusual like that, and then you can also change people's timing and editing. Editing's such a key with all that stuff. Because comedy is so much timing.
Yeah.
So if you're changing people's rhythm and timing, sometimes you can make it really good, and sometimes you can completely screw it up.
Yeah.
So I did video auditions. I did not put down shooting dates until we found all the locations and until we found all the actors. I did not want to put that kind of stress on myself of like, oh my God, we have to shoot next week, and I still don't have this position cast. So I did not put down dates until I've had the full cast and locations done. And also a DP. I already wanted to have the DP on board too before I did that. But the rest of the crew, grips, gaffers, all that kind of stuff, first AC, second AC, all that stuff I would hire after, because a lot of those people are literally going from movie to movie. They don't know their schedule. You can't book them 3 months ahead of time or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the gist of it, guys. You got more questions?
Awesome.
What do you got for me?
I mean, we kind of like flowed through them a little bit, but if there's anything like, let's see if there's anything like that we didn't kind of like get to.
Fire away, guys. I'm an open book. So again, if anybody's listening, it's Wally Got Wasted on Amazon. So
sure, everybody should go check it out.
Yeah, but I mean, we kind of just like flowed through. I mean, majority of it, unless any of you guys you have anything else.
Kind of fit them all in, like the main points.
But
quick plug too. I mean, if anyone has questions, you can always hit me up. I'm Adam William Ward on Instagram. I try to answer all the people because I get a lot of messages from people watching the movie and stuff. I try to answer them all if you have questions. But I'll do my best. You know, Adam William Ward on Instagram. So, and then if you do watch the movie, anyone watching it, please write a review on Amazon. It seems to help a lot with new people watching it and stuff. So.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, I mean, like hearing the story and the back, like the everything behind the scenes of it, just gave us definitely a new love for it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I can't lie, like we wasn't the biggest fan of it, but that's the whole shtick of this podcast is we're like super critical of things. So it's you know what I mean. But just hearing this makes me want to go and like watch it again just to like see it with like a different
you get
view.
like a real appreciation for the hard work that really went into that.
Yeah,
for sure, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I share our stories and stuff. I mean, it was a journey making it. You know what I mean?
No, that's awesome.
I can't imagine that. Not a lot of people do that. You got the opportunity to tackle something like that, and that's commend that.
It's my first movie, man, so hopefully I just keep getting better and keep kicking ass and make more and more movies. I want to make probably like 30 movies in my life.
That's what's
up,
man.
Hey. You already got 3 fans right here. We're going to watch every flick you do.
Hit us up. We'll do this every movie you make. You hit us up and we'll do it again.
We'll scope them out, man. But that's when do you think, like, I mean, since you said in the beginning, like, once you do a feature, people don't really do another one. When are you planning on to, like, do the other one? Or are you
What's your next project?
Yeah.
I don't fully know. I know that right now I'm being paid to write a script. First time I've ever been paid in my life to write a script.
That's what's up. So this movie got you a job, kind of? Is that like? So that's kind of what
it did. Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. And they want me to direct that movie. That's why they.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
Sick,
so that came forward, and I met with like yesterday. I met with this DP that director of photography who's the director of photography for Reese Witherspoon's next movie. And so, like, you go, and you meet these people, and then I show them the trailer, and they're like, oh, okay, you're like legit. Like, you've done a feature. It looks good.
Nice.
Like, half the people don't even watch the movie. Like, they just watch the trailer, man. But, like, they see that you've done it. You know what I mean? So it's just a totally different thing. And the learning aspect of it all from start to finish, I mean, we're self-distributing, too. So, I mean, we're going to the platforms all ourselves.
Damn, that's what I wanted to get into that, too. Like, how did that work and things like that?
How'd you get Amazon?
Yeah.
How'd you get on there?
Well, there's aggregators out there. So you got to get an aggregator.
What does that mean? I'm sorry. What is that exactly?
So there's an aggregator basically that there's like a middle company that you can pay to get on the platforms. Now,
okay.
Distribution companies and multiple distribution companies wanted to do deals with us, but they take a high percentage, and ultimately, like, we're like the little engine that could. It was constantly banking on myself in the movie. There's so many people that said to me, I literally had people go, listen, you need to stop. You only have $70,000. You can't shoot this movie with 38 locations in LA for $70,000. Like, you're in over your head. You can't do it. Don't try. And I would just reply with them as, just watch me. Just watch me do it.
That's fucking badass. Like, G shit. That's badass.
Don't tell me I can't do something. Either help or get out of the way.
Yeah. Then you just send them that Amazon link to your movie, and then you're like, yo, what's good?
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
And it was the same way. It's the same way with distribution too. It's like I'm hoping that it becomes a cult classic and people really like the movie and they share it with their friends because it's just it's fun, silly, funny movie. So we're just still going with that. At this point, we've had about 3,000 people buy and rent the movie, which is great. It's a great start for a little indie movie.
Awesome.
It's only been out like a few months. And so hopefully it just keeps growing and keeps going. Hopefully you three guys can write reviews on Amazon.
Yeah, man. And then I'm curious now, like with like, so are you? So you own everything and it's all like independent. So you make money just strictly off of people renting and buying it, or how does like a movie, like especially in this like streaming era? I'm just wondering how you like make money off of that type of thing now.
I've been shocked with that, to be honest with you. Seth, my partner, really believes people would rent and buy. I'm a Netflix Hulu guy. I'm like, who the hell pays for movies anymore? But there's been, there was one week where we were having 100 to 150 people rent and buy the movie every day.
Strictly off of Amazon, or is it like?
Strictly off of Amazon.
Damn.
So I've been blown away at the amount of, and this is far past my friends. I don't have that many friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
when
awesome.
there's like, you have a week where on a Wednesday 130 people buy the movie.
Damn.
And then on Thursday 108 people buy the movie. Like, this is people sharing it with their friends. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's in a very fun journey like that. I look, we're only at 3,000. Hopefully we can get to 100,000 or whatever. I mean, we'll see what we get to. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about to start pocket watching. You know what I mean? $3 per rent, a couple thousand. I'm gonna start. No.
But
so how do you make money?
We shot it for $70,000. We ended up spending $100,000 when it comes to post and everything else. So we're $100,000 in the hole.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, Amazon splits things with you 50-50. So if somebody pays $15 for the movie, we only actually get $7 on it.
Okay.
So, I mean, literally $100,000. That means we need at least, I don't know, 100,000 people. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
I haven't done the numbers, but we need a lot of people. We're not in the green yet. You know what I mean? But we're getting there, and like I said, I'm learning as I go, and it's been really nice on the first feature to the fact that we did it everything on our own.
Yeah,
so I know
badass.
how to make a movie from start to finish and get it to an audience.
Exactly. Especially nowadays, like everyone's stressing like doing everything yourself and kind of like ownership and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And if I work for somebody too, the stress is never there because I don't need you necessarily.
Yeah, exactly.
You're either a benefit to me or I don't need you at that point. You know, so it's all learning, and I'll learn a lot more, I'm sure. Right now, there's a book. I'm writing the script on a book it's called Catch the White Tiger. It's about a guy from Beirut that moved here back in the 60s or 70s, and moved here with nothing, and basically he was 17 years old, and Beirut was basically in civil war at the time, and his family's like, you have to go to America and pave the way for us to come. So he came here, like, worked in a donut factory and, like, saved up money and started selling, like, meat door to door, and saved all his money to bring his family over. And then he was the first person to bring hummus and Middle Eastern food to grocery stores.
No way.
Thank God for that guy.
Damn, man. We need to know his name, so I think you have a duty for all of us.
Well, the book's called Catch the White Tiger. His name's Tony Asali.
Nice. But
he basically, so I'm telling his life story. The script is about his life story. He came here with nothing. He became a millionaire because, you know, all the hummus you eat in the grocery stores is because of him.
Damn.
So, like, he met me and he wanted me to read his book really bad. He really wants me to make the movie. And so now we're writing the script and we're going to make the movie. I don't know when, you know. First we got to get a script.
Yeah.
So one step leads to the next. So the next movie will not be a comedy, guys. It will be a drama.
Damn, yeah.
But maybe I make a movie between that one and this one. I have movies written that I really want to make. I have a lot of ideas for movies, but I have one that's written actually about a low-end mob guy who all he does is collect money for the cartel, basically in LA, and but he's kind of shielded. His uncle, he works for his uncle, and so he just collects money, kind of like Rocky back in the day.
Okay.
You know, remember Rocky just collected money. But anyway, he kind of speaks up during a meeting of his uncles. And the cartel needs a guy to do a job, and he needs money really bad because his dad's sick with cancer and he needs treatment. So he basically speaks up. He's like, I'll do it. He doesn't know what the heck he signed up for. So they're like, okay, go to this address in East LA. He goes to the address, and basically they kidnap the girl. And he has to watch the girl for 3 days in this abandoned house in East LA. And he ends up falling in love with the damn girl. And they come back after the 3 days and they're going to kill her. So he has to make a choice between killing this girl he just fell in love with or fighting the cartel. And,
that sounds like a really interesting story.
Yeah, it sounds crazy.
Can you make that movie already? You should watch it.
It's already written. So, yeah, I definitely will make it in my life. No doubt about it.
Look, cool, man.
So, and it's got some, it's got brutal violence. Like, it's kind of like Drive. I don't know if you
yeah. I like that movie.
Yeah,
I like that movie.
Yeah, I really want to shoot it like that. Like, it's going to feel
artsy vibe.
Feel very similar to
Yeah,
that. Very artsy, but at the same time brutally violent.
Yeah.
The action scenes I have written, I just have a lot of original stuff in the action scene. Like I could say whatever. Like one scene, like because I'm playing the lead, I'm playing the guy. So one scene, I get a weed whacker, and I start fucking weed whacking guys.
Oh my god!
The cartel guys, like
that's
all
hilarious.
kinds of shit like that I have in it, where it's just brutally violent, and I want to shoot it like real life. So it's just gonna be real brutal.
Nice.
And the action scenes are gonna be very much like raw and real, kind of like Die Hard 1. Like he's not a kung fu guy, you know what I mean? He's just fucking guys up like the best way he knows how. So
that sounds awesome.
I really want to make that movie, but it's going to take at least $1 million to make it because I got like some car flipping and some cars blowing up and a few things in it that just cost money.
Yeah.
So I definitely will make it in my life. Right now the script's called Attachment Theory, but I'll probably end up changing the name.
Yeah.
So.
It's usually how it goes, right? But that's awesome, man. That sounds cool. We look forward to seeing like anything that you got going up next.
Please, yeah, stay in touch, guys. I'll come on the show for the next one, too. So how many shows have you guys done? Like, how long have you been doing the podcast?
It's about 25 to 30 episodes.
Yeah, so not too many right now.
Awesome. Just starting out, just building your brand.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly. So I appreciate, we appreciate you coming on and,
for sure, bro. Thank you.
And giving us your time.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate being on the show, and, Wally Got Wasted on Amazon.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want to plug, like in the last couple seconds? Anything else you want to tell everybody about?
You can also, again, a little reminder, you can watch for free Parole Officers on Amazon Prime, and Three Guys on the Couch is free on Prime as well. If anybody can help us out, write reviews on Wally Got Wasted on Amazon, write reviews on Three Guys on the Couch and Parole Officers, and rate us on IMDb. It all helps us. We are an independent movie just trying to make the dream real, man. So
sick, man. And tell them where they can find you, social media and all that.
Yeah, just go Adam William Ward on Instagram, and that's the easiest way to find me is on Instagram. So.
Awesome, man. Well, Adam, this has been honestly great. The story was way more badass than I think we could have imagined. Like, it made it so much more sick.
Yeah,
like,
So thanks for having me on, guys. I had a really good time, and stay in touch.
Awesome, man. Definitely, man. Well, you take it easy, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Take it easy.
Bye.
I shouldn't have said soon. Damn, that was pretty long. That was pretty sick. The story was awesome. Oh, we were gonna fucking roast him.
I couldn't.
In the middle of it, it's like, I don't want to talk shit to him now. He's such a nice guy.
We were saying, like,
Bro,
I can't.
Oh
my God, like a
dude, it was
sick
so
story.
sick.
Yeah, that guy had a dope story.
That was sick, yeah.
So that
shit
was
sick.
Adam William Ward, director of the movie called Wally Got Wasted.
Go peep
featured
it.
on
Yeah, for real,
Amazon
go peep it.
Prime.
Go look out for the dude now.
Exclusively.
For real, now
Yeah.
hook him up.
You have to
Go
go
rent
watch
that
it
movie.
now.
Even if you hate it, go fucking
Yeah.
rent it.
Who gives a
and
fuck?
just
Who
give
cares?
the
Help the
man the
man
money.
This
You know
dude
what I mean?
went to Paris and back on foot
Yeah.
and made this shit pop out of his asshole.
Yeah. But
Oh,
nah,
yeah,
super
it's
sick.
I
Yeah.
totally was not expecting it to
Neither
go
was
that
I.
direction at all, but super sick. I know the fucking dude had a sick story. You know, he did that shit.
Yeah.
Hard
Go
fucking
peep-
work, made that shit, so it's like, damn.
And all by himself. They did it all
Yeah,
independent.
all
All that's badass. But
fucking
yeah,
tight.
go fucking show him some love. Do
Yeah,
all
for
that
real.
type of shit so we can make another one. Make it steezy. So, but yeah, this was nice movie. That was Wally Got Wasted. Go fucking peep it, Amazon, whatever the fuck. No one, if you're listening to this, you probably can't fight. But all right, man.
All right, peace.
Everybody
Bye-bye.
take off. Peace.